How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back. We are back on the tier maker. I've been sick for like 3 days now. No videos, no action, nothing. I'm kind of getting back to myself. And it is time, though, to talk about the Forbidden and Limited list that is coming, no doubt, by the end of the month. Regional season is starting back up again. And I think it's time to talk about what could happen, what should happen, and what will actually happen at the end. Before we begin, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, stick around for the Visas Starfrost movie coming this Sunday, and let's dive right into it. We have a lot of decks to discuss: Kashtira, Runic, Sprite, Branded, Labyrinth, Pearly, and a lot of other decks and a lot of other contenders that could come back, should come back. And we're just going to start off with the best deck, basically. And that is going to be Kashtira. And we also have Arise Heart and Fenrir somewhere here. And we're going to discuss them right now. I think that there has been, unofficially, maybe screenshots or images of something that is coming, a product that may be coming very soon. And we have seen a lot of these Kashtira cards, maybe there, maybe not. So I'm going to try to kind of stay away from that kind of knowledge. But I think that overall, the TCG might do the complete opposite from what the OCG does. And I think that what needs to happen is that the very best card in the deck should definitely be hit and killed and become forbidden, which is Arise Heart. I think this card is absolutely insane. It's really, really crazy, and I think this is what holds the deck together. I think that Unicorn and Fenrir, on the other hand, are good pieces of engine to the deck. I think Fenrir, honestly, maybe could stay at 3 to serve other decks as additional supplementary engine. If that is the case, maybe this sort of thing happens. But I think realistically, these two should be limited. I think these provide just too much advantage, even in other decks as well that can run the engine. I think we've had Kashtira for a while now. I think, to be honest, like, it's time. It's time to get rid of these and move on, and especially move on with, you know, Arise Heart gone. We don't want this card. This kills a lot of strategies, and I think it's good to get rid of this. And Birth, like, considering these, Birth can stay. I mean, I would ban this card to hell, but, you know. Sprite, we already had a semi-limit. Blue is currently not limited at all. I think that Sprite, Starter, and Blue could just go to 1. I think the engine is extremely strong. We haven't seen it being played so much. But again, some engines take a fall while others will rise up again. I think the engine itself is really, really powerful. And in the decks that run it currently, you only need 1 of each. So maybe it's sort of like a Runic Fountain to 2 kind of scenario. Sprite is not by any means broken and very, very strong, but as an engine in a vacuum, it's incredibly powerful. And I think, well, you know, if somebody is dethroned, then it makes sense that these will be balanced as well. This is, as happens with every big ban list, everything takes a notch down. Floowandereeze map, I personally think this card should be limited. We haven't seen Floowandereeze do a lot. I think this card should be at 1. I don't care if this is going to happen. I think this card should be at 1, and I've been saying it since the deck came out. But we have another deck, another card that we're going to talk about in relation to that. But first of all, we're going to talk about Runic, and we're going to talk about Fountain Tip, and we're also going to talk about Hugin. What is the most realistic take here? Hugin to 1 could actually be a really good hit. You negate the Hugin, you don't have a way to access it. Maybe even, you know, you do something like this, right? I think realistically, you could leave Hugin at 3. I don't really like Tip to 1 specifically, but I think it is realistically could happen. It could also stay like this. I think this could work as well. But again, as the power level comes down, I think everything should take like a balanced hit altogether. So I think that would be good. Like if Tip went to 1, this card is really, really powerful. I think Fountain to 2 could stay. Maybe you do something with Hugin. We'll see. Prosperity should definitely be limited. I don't think there's any discussion about this card. This card makes strong decks stronger, and it makes weak decks stronger. This card is just really, really crazy at the cost of nothing to most decks, 6 cards even. Extra deck heavy decks that are less consistent could run this and dig, a quarter way into their deck, or like, eighth. This card is absolutely nuts. I think it should be in 1. It is fair to be in 1, and I don't think any other weak decks need the consistency boost. One sentence about Branded. I think a lot of people mentioned Branded. Gimmick Puppet Nightmare could maybe be banned. Branded is not doing anything right now. I don't think there's any reason to hit the deck. I think Sanctifier is a really good card, but maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think all the other engines are a bit stronger. Branded Fusion could be limited. There is a world where that happens just to reduce the deck's power. We could leave it at 1, but I think realistically, none of these are going to happen. And remember, these two are limited in the OCG. These are probably not the hits that Labyrinth will get, even though I think Big Welcome is a very strong card. Lady is definitely bannable in my opinion as a card, but we'll get to what actually happens to Labyrinth. I don't think this is it. I think Sleepy, I really want this card to be a 1. It doesn't make sense to draw 6 cards in a turn. It really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense with the new Noir. It just does a lot for the deck. I think the deck, the only game plan that this deck has is Towers. And I don't think that's healthy Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest. I think that Droll, even though it's a really, really strong card, I think for the balance of the game, Konami will probably want to keep it at 3. I think you definitely should go to 1 or banned. It's not a healthy card for the game, but this is a prediction, so I don't think Konami is going to touch it. I'm kind of hoping Skill Drain maybe to 2. Maybe with the other hits to Labyrinth, it could go to 2. I would probably put it to 1. I would personally want to see it at 1. I'm not sure if it will happen. But again, really toxic card that I'm not really sure why it came back. Engage could go to 3. Striker is almost at full power right now. It does absolutely nothing. I think Salamangreat as well. It kind of ties together with the support that Salad just got. They are topping right now, so maybe Gazelle at 3 is not the best idea, but we'll have to see, I suppose. I think it could come back, and if it's too strong, then it could go back to 1. Desires, I've seen some predictions that take it to 3. I think it should definitely be a 2. Very, very good balance to have this card at 2. Harp could go to 3. Absolutely nothing will happen if this card is a 3. Same goes for this, Orange Light, and same goes for the 2 banned Dragon Rulers. They're probably not going to jump all the way to 3, but they could. These cards are really old. Vernisil, for example, could use this card to have fun and be a little bit more competitive now that Naturia is gone. There's no reason to keep these. These cards will do absolutely nothing at 3. Bring them back. And unfortunately, Dimension Shifter, I personally think this card should be banned. I think that Konami will not ban it. It might go to 2. Realistically, a realistic prediction, it might actually go to 2. I think similar to Lightning Storm, they have been starting to do a little bit of semi-limiting. This could be worth it at 2. Pearly, we discussed it. I think Noir, is fine as long as Sleepy gets hit. Spheres, let's talk about some dragons. So dragons are going to get hit. I think that Magnamut and Lubellion should be at 1. Just to limit the amount. This is already 5 Magnamut with Chaos Space. You have 5 ways to get into it. If they don't do that, I think that Spheres being banned is something that could happen. I think it also should happen. Link 2s that summon from deck. And a plan B that is very, very good against a lot of decks and actually summons Magnamut. This could all happen together. Hitting dragons could definitely be the play. And I think dragons have shown that they are a very good deck. This maybe it's a little bit excessive. If you do this, Spheres is still really, really good. I think it's definitely a bannable card. We'll see what actually happens to it. We have Calamity, Lightheart, AFD, Kit Kalos, Virus, and the 2 Rika cards. I'm just going to take them up here. I think that it's either Dryas 1 or Jasmine that should be banned. Realistically, what Konami actually does most of the time is just limit or ban the Link 1s. They just make the Link 1s forbidden. So I think what's going to happen, even though I mentioned it differently in my Twitter, I think a one-card combo that generates the amount of advantage that this does, and I don't accept the take that Rika is fine, is just an amazing player. She is an amazing player, but a one-card combo that generates so much advantage that is generated by this Link 1. This is Konami's philosophy. Meow Mew, Scarecrow, the super heavy one. I think this is what they will do. Calamity, I think that it's not going to get touched. There's a Crimson Dragon structure deck coming up. It's not going to get touched. Maybe Crimson Dragon itself will be banned. Lightheart, maybe in the future. Kid Kalos, unfortunately, will stay banned. This could definitely go to 3. So Kid Kalos will stay banned, and Eradicator should definitely be banned as well. I think this is sort of how it's going to look like. And I think that there are 4 new hits to the Forbidden list. A lot of toxic cards. I think Spheres is a question mark. Depends how strong they want to take it at Dragon Link. You know, maybe it's a little bit of an overkill. This will be fine too for Dragons, but I think this card, I mean, Dragons are always going to get more support. You need to nerf it at some point along the way each time to just touch it a little bit. Bestials are still going to be strong. And you're probably going to say that I'm biased towards Branded. So, like hitting cards like Dryas and not touching Branded. Well, you know, this didn't win Continental Championships. And if you're saying that I'm biased, you're probably also saying that Branded is a bad deck that dies to Ash. So if it's a bad deck that dies to Ash, definitely doesn't need to get hit. I would really like to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Support the channel even further. Tomorrow, check out my Twitter, a new Sleeve Chief restock, and new Unchained sleeves. Also, Tier 0 Games, 50% off a lot of products right now. Check the links in my description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll grab a drink of water. I'll see you in the next one. Comment. Peace.